And the Maharaj, you remember that guy, the TM character, who was so evolved that he decided to plant his American headquarters in Iowa. So, because then you're really beyond time and space if you want to live in Iowa. Take a couple more shots at Iowa and we'll move along. They have a university there, and they did several studies of if they meditated, a group of those people at the university meditate on crime in Washington, D.C., the crime levels went down. And there's lots of experiments now of people sending thoughts and changing events. And there's actually, I can't remember what it's called, I think it's out of Princeton University. They've got some computer electrodes tapped into different places around the internet, and they look for spikes in energy to then correlate the spikes in energy with worldwide events. And you can watch the graph like of 9/11 where the graph is like this and it spikes, then comes back down. There's lots of examples like that out there. Okay, 12, 12, 12 is the final numerological alignment. And the reason these numbers are so important is because the numbers contain huge quantities of energy. And you direct energy through the numerical system in this particular matrix that we're in. So we measure time with numbers, we measure space by miles or distance with numbers. Everything is, your age is measured with numbers, everything is measured with numbers. The wall that was built here is measured with certain numbers. So the numbers have huge energetic powers. When they line up at certain codes, it opens up new streams of energy. That stream energy then has a positive and negative polarity. It's a polarity planet, so everything has two sides. So when the portal opens up, the energy comes in as a negative side and a positive side. The more people we can get meditating on 12, 12, 12, the more that when that portal opens, the more harmonious, peaceful, beneficial energy we can access. So that around the globe, there's all sorts of people queuing into this. And with the 100th monkey notion, that if we get it to a certain point, there's a tipping balance, and there's a harmonic wave of peace, kindness, kind of acceptance that can go throughout every single human being on the planet when these portals open. And 12, 12, 12, which is the last of the numerical triple-digit portals, which started with January 1st, 2001, 111, February 2nd, 2002. If you come to if you have to leave, you can only do part of the yoga class, which part should you do? If you have a choice. That's correct. The end. Because the energy field has been built and you come in at the end, you get the benefit. Right? If it's 3 days at times, you only go to 1 day, which day should you go to? If you can choose. The third day, because the energy field is built. So the last triple numerical alignment, 12, 12, 12, is a huge event that's been building for a dozen years. So I encourage you, we're having a workshop here that day, and do some kind of meditation. There's lots of people around the globe meditating at 12, 12 a.m. and 12, 12 p.m., trying to, again, capitalize on the frequency flow. So it's a good time to bring new people in, get yourself set up, because here's what happened. The harmonic wave is released, and then the human job then is to try to position themselves. And just like your magnifying glass at the sun, if you get the glass at the right angle, all of a sudden you create fire. You don't have a magnifying glass, nothing happens. You don't have it angled right, nothing happens. So it's how you angle your psyche, align your psyche when this energy comes through, can absolutely catapult you into a whole other dimensional reality of your incarnation. And what we've been saying for a long time, there's people on this planet who don't have any mental pain, don't have any experience of stress, anger, regret, anxiety, depression. In some worlds, there's human beings who figure out that they don't need to live in a world where those things exist. And the vast majority of people haven't figured that out. But if a couple of people have figured it out, it's possible. right? And you have half this planet or more drugged up, trying to look for a good feeling, when there's plenty of people who can call up any good feeling that they want. So they don't have to destroy their body mind in search of a good feeling. So we're trying to give people the energy and the technology where they can live in a world where peace and harmony are the dominant experience. And 12-12-12 is a whole nother energetic wave arriving on the planet that's never been here before that will allow people to participate more fully in this. And if we get enough people pointed in the right direction, enough people aligned properly, then the whole planet can do a kind of a quantum shift. And now it's time for our American history note. We always do this each class, just so people learn their American history. Lyndon Johnson, President of the United States, was started out in Texas. And you go to the Johnson Library in Austin, Texas. Who's been there? No. Have you? In the early 30s, I think it is, Johnson in Congress manages to muscle through some electrical bill for South Texas Panhandle, who had never had electricity. And they have pictures of the houses lighting up for the first time. And they have little descriptions of the inhabitants who thought that their village had gone on fire. Because all of a sudden, one night, every house had light in it. Because they flipped a switch, and all of a sudden, now, something that existed somewhere else, but didn't exist there, they managed to get it wired up, they flipped the switch, and all of a sudden, there's a whole nother realm of experience. And now we gotta do some quote French philosophers. We'll do yoga at some point, but an hour from now. I never get this guy's name right, but since no one knows who he is, I'll say it. Who was a French philosopher who said, when humans discover the power of love, then man will have discovered fire for the second time. It's a famous quote. And this is what's happening. In 12-12-12, there's a release of cosmic energy that if you align yourself properly, you can essentially have the experience of discovering fire for the second time. And that sets up the solstice alignment on the 21st. So, a little extra effort over the next week, and that's next Wednesday, 12-12-12. Okay. The whole world is going to shift, and it's like a Muggle magic separation. There's going to be people all of a sudden living in a magic world, and the Muggles don't even know the magic world exists. We want you part of it. Because the magic people can go in the Muggle world and they go to magic world. They can go back and forth. They can enjoy both. Muggles don't even know magic exists. They have no idea what happens in that world. And that's what's happening here, and this split is getting more dramatic as the hours pass. But 12-12-12 is a huge uplink. Okay, here we go. We're going to work on this. We're going to balance the chakras, and then I want to get this third eye pituitary gland in a rhythm, so when this wave comes, you know how to navigate inside it.